Now, before I get into my final section of discussion, I wanted to talk about the toys that I don't really have that many memories with compared to some of the others. In particular, those include Transformers, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and Star Wars. Firstly, with Transformers, I saw the Bumblebee movie. That was my first and real only exposure to the Transformers universe, and I really enjoyed it. I remember one year, a while before Christmas, I was doing my casual snooping around, and found a Back to the Future DeLorean and Ecto-1 from Ghostbusters as Transformers. I didn't really pay it any mind, I just left them alone, even though I was still curious. And just my luck, my dad later on that day took me aside and said something along the lines of, "Hey bud, I know certain things are a long way away, but I like to be prepared, so don't look around for anything, okay?" I really don't remember, but it was something like that, and immediately I knew what he was talking about, and he actually gave them to me. He said, "Why the hell not?" They are pretty damn cool toys, I won't lie. The DeLorean is my favorite, as I adore Back to the Future with my entire heart. As for the Ecto-1, I thought it was pretty cool, even though I never really played with it all that much. My story with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is similar, but also a bit different. I've known about the Turtles for an incredibly long time. In fact, the first movie I technically ever saw in a theater was the 2000 TMNT animated movie. My dad took me to see it when I was a baby, but that's just a random little fact. I always knew about TMNT, and was always interested in checking out the toys, but it never piqued my interest enough, until I saw the original 1990 animated film, which I love. But again, I was never really all that interested. That was until I saw the trailer for TMNT Mutant Mayhem, and that sent me down a whole new spiral of watching TMNT stuff. The original films, as well as videos talking about the original toys. I also went out of my way to buy a few turtle toys. I bought all 4 of the regular turtles from TMNT Mutant Mayhem. I also bought the turtle tots. Another time, when I went out to Walmart, I bought a Hot Wheel party wagon, and eventually got one to open as well. I kept one in the package. I also bought a Ripcord Leonardo car. And for a fun fact about me, Leonardo was actually my favorite Ninja Turtle. And actually, before I saw Mutant Mayhem, Michelangelo was actually my favorite. And I won't lie, that's the one a lot of people choose. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles definitely wasn't the biggest part of my childhood, but it still definitely played a part. And even though that's the case, I could still definitely say,
I like turtles.
However, though, it wasn't really me who was the biggest Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle fan. It was actually my dad. We were talking about this right before we started.
Oh, yes.
Which one is this?
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
No.
Oh, Mikey.
Mikey.
Michelangelo.
Mikey, Mikey, Mikey.
I don't know if you want me to go into that.
Yeah, I mean,
What's your dad?
if you want to.
Pat, Mimo, took our oldest, Brenna, to a gymnastics event over in Iowa. And she had left on Saturday and she didn't come back till Sunday afternoon. Well, Sunday morning, Jerry and I went to church, and there's a wheelchair ramp outside the church. And the kids always like to climb on it. And it was a nice day. We come home from church, everything went fine. And while I was sitting at the neighbor's house in his garage, and just enjoying the weather, waiting for Pat to get home with Brenna, I went in, I got this brainstorm that I would throw Pat off when she come home. Took a taco. I put a taco on Jerry's bare arm, and then spread ketchup all over it, and then wrapped it in cellophane wrap. And then I had him put on a long sleeve shirt to cover it up. She come down to Albert's, and Albert and I and Jerry were sitting there in the garage, and Pat asked me how it went. And I says, well, everything's okay. I says, Jerry likes to climb on the ramp, wheelchair ramp, on the side of the church. I said, and he fell off. And she immediately asked if he'd get hurt, and I had him roll up his sleeve, and here's this taco spread all over it with ketchup all over the top of it and wrapped in cellophane wrap. Well, the first thing she saw was just a great big red blob all down the back of his arm. and she come unglued. She grabbed him by the arm, and we were all trying to quit not laugh. Albert and I, and Jerry pretty much stood there like with a straight face. And he said, no, I'm all right. And Pat was demanding to go to the hospital. And that was a funny thing, but that's what I remember about the movies, because Jerry really wanted to go to the movies to see this particular show, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, when they first come out. So I had taken him down for that. It was one of the most boring things I've ever seen in my life. Only to be beat by the Power Rangers.
And that's pretty much it.
That's it.
Good old Mikey, Michelangelo. I played with Ninja Turtles when I was young. In fact, I recently saw a meme that took me back, where it was, you used to be able to go to Burger King and get a side of Ninja Turtles with your Happy Meal at Burger King, because you used to be able to get, like, kids' meals came with, you could get a VHS tape of Ninja Turtles.
I think I remember that.
The hottest videos are now only at Burger King. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. 4 never-before-released tapes for only $3.49 each.
Cool.
To get the hottest videos, sometimes you've got to break the rules.
Burger King Kids Club, right?
Yeah, Burger King and Kids Club. And so it'd be all these, like, little, like, special animated things. Yeah. Like back when Saturday morning cartoons were still Saturday morning cartoons, and Ninja Turtles. I loved it. I had all of them. I didn't have the Terror Dome, but I had a sewer playset for a while. April O'Neil's motorcycle. I had a camera that popped up. I really enjoyed, like, they had special edition Turtles, like, you know, it was a money grab, but like they had, like, all of the like at the Olympics, when it was the Olympic time, they had Turtles that were different athletes or played different sports. They had different Turtles for, like, members of the armed service, like Donatello was an Air Force pilot.
Yeah.
Michelangelo, I think, was a sailor. Ralph was, like, in, like, army fatigues with, like, a green beret. Or Raph, not Ralph, Raphael. And, like, I remember those were really cool. Yeah, I had a lot of fun playing with Ninja Turtles. Believe it or not, the first movie you ever went to go see was an animated Ninja Turtles movie as a baby. And he slept through the whole thing.
Yeah.
Clearly. And you don't remember it.
No.
But it was like, again, it was one of those things that's like, it's Ninja Turtles, it's something from my childhood. Cool.
And last thing in regards to Power Rangers, obviously I got into Dino Thunder. That was the first thing that I got into. But also when the 2017 movie came out, I really loved it. I sort of fell in love with it, and that's what started my Power Ranger, really sort of kickstarted my Power Ranger love. But you've been vocal about your dislike for that movie.
I disliked. Yeah, it was kind of a stupid movie. You know, the whole, like, Goldar coming from gold teeth, like,
yeah.
that was really dumb. Like, I liked that they tied in that Rita Repulsa, or whoever that was,
yeah, that
she was actually used to be the Green Ranger, and
that was cool.
And she went bad, like, that was cool. It was just like, it was there was a lot of build up, and the payoff kind of sucked. Yeah. Like, the Zords kind of sucked, everything being, like, the monochrome gray. Like, I don't know. It wasn't great to me, and I feel like Alpha 5 was a little over the top.
I just remember you making a comment comparing the 1995 movie Zords to the 2017 movie Zords, and you saying the 1995 ones you thought were better.
Yeah, I felt like the graphics in it was better. I'm like, man, like that movie's, you know, 10 plus years old, and it looks better on the screen than this stuff does.